Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 2402A, and today's date is February 11th, 2021, and the title of the episode is The Patriots Are Now Pushing Against the Central Bank and the Great Reset. Welcome to the transition. Let's talk about investing. The economy is too uncertain. International relations are shaky. You can't count on anyone except yourself. That's why many investors are deciding to buy gold and silver and keep it with them. Noble Gold is your perfect choice. You can have your precious metal shipping right to your door. Here's a great place to start. This 4-set of American Eagle 22-karat gold coins is the perfect investment. And all 4 of these, $5, $10, $25, and $50 coins, are bullion-grade proofs, authenticated by the U.S. Mint. There are just 20 sets around, so it's first come, first serve. There's also a mystery surprise extra coin as a holiday gift with each set. Discover more and call Noble Gold at 877-646-5347 or click the link in the description. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we know that Trump and the Patriots, their entire mission was to bring down the entire system. And the system is made up of the central bank, the fiat currency, the swamp, the invisible enemy, the mainstream media, the corrupt politicians, you name it. And what are we seeing right now? We're seeing a lot of strange things happen in the economy, and people are getting a front row seat to everything. Actually, Trump, he removed everything the globalists have done, and now the globalists, the central bank, they're putting it right back to where it was. People are noticing all of this. They're seeing it firsthand. And remember, the mainstream media, the corrupt politicians, Biden, they've been telling us that we're in this terrible, terrible pandemic. It's a dark winter. But during this dark winter, they're letting illegals come into the country, take other people's jobs without testing them. They're getting rid of jobs when people need jobs. They're doing everything the opposite way of what they were talking about. They're not helping the economy. They're destroying the economy. And we can see that Biden, he held his first phone call with Xi. Xi, did I do everything correctly? Now, is Xi really running the show? Or are there deep state players behind Xi who are really in control? Because we're getting 2 different stories of the conversation they had. One from Biden and one from China, which is very interesting. Now, Biden came out and said, I spoke with President Xi to offer good wishes to the Chinese people for the Lunar New Year. I also shared concerns about Beijing's economic practices, human rights abuses, and coercion of Taiwan. I told him I'll work with China when it benefits the American people. Now, once again, we know that Biden, he just says things. He never follows through on it. And once again, we have a completely different conversation coming from the Chinese. Now, that's what he told the American people. I'm talking about Biden. The Chinese say that the conversation went completely different. Xi told Biden that he hopes the United States will cautiously handle matters related to Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Xinjiang that deal with matters of China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. And that's the opposite of what Biden was saying. Remember, Biden, he had assistance in cheating in the election. Foreign governments helped him. Biden is now in their pocket. He has to do everything they say. Yes, there are reports that Biden's keeping the tariffs in place. Yes, there's a reason for that. Remember, Trump was using the tariffs to pay the farmers. Biden is going to intercept those tariffs and use it for climate change, to launder money. Yes, it's a lot of money coming through these tariffs. The Chinese are okay with this. It's called a payoff, and it helps their agenda. Now, what's very interesting, it seems that the Patriots now, they are moving towards a transition. Now, once Biden was inaugurated, we saw a lot of strange things happen. We saw all of a sudden retail investors investing in GameStop, showing the American public how the system can be manipulated. And it also showed what the corrupt politicians, mainstream media will do if you try to hurt their manipulation. So they went out and they stopped the everyday person from buying stock. Is this a free and open market? No, it's a controlled market. We've known this for a very long time. We know that the central bank, they're in trouble. Trump has removed their cover story, which was going to be a war. They need something completely different. The pandemic is not working. Yes, they tried everything, variants. They tried to say we need double mask, triple mask, you name it. We need just to cover our body in saran wrap. But it's not working. Trump came out with the vaccine. Trump opened the economy. Trump showed people you can go back to work. You don't have to be afraid. And the mainstream media and the deep state, they tried everything to convince people the opposite way. You have to be afraid. You have to wear a mask. You can't go out to work. And then all of a sudden, Biden was inaugurated, and those states that said we have to shut down because this is the worst time ever for COVID, they decided to open up again. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. But Trump knew they were going to do this. He said the economy is going to improve. It's going to bounce back. And as soon as these states started to open up again, what happened? Everything started to bounce back. But we see other things happening right now. Remember, the central bank, their currency, it's falling apart. It's imploding. The debt saturation around the world is unsustainable. The central bank knows this. Trump knows this. The world leaders know this. This is why they've been pushing for a reset. Now, what's very interesting is that Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency, it is moving up in value. And we're starting to see businesses, investors, move into Bitcoin. Now, that's very interesting because as Bitcoin continually rises in value, as gold and silver continually rise in value, what happens to the fiat system? What happens to the dollar? What happens to the world currencies? Let's talk about investing. The economy is too uncertain. International relations are shaky. You can't count on anyone except yourself. That's why many investors are deciding to buy gold and silver and keep it with them. Noble Gold is your perfect choice. You can have your precious metal shipping right to your door. Here's a great place to start. This 4 set of American Eagle 22-karat gold coins is the perfect investment. And all 4 of these, $5, $10, $25, and $50 coins, are bullion-grade proofs, authenticated by the U.S. Mint. There are just 20 sets around, so it's first come, first serve. There's also a mystery surprise extra coin as a holiday gift with each set. Discover more and call Noble Gold at 877-646-5347 or click the link in the description. Well, people look at them and say, well, why is the dollar or other currencies worth nothing? And why is gold or silver or cryptocurrencies worth a lot? Why would they continually moving up? Now, the second question is, why would banks all of a sudden say they're accepting Bitcoin using the Litecoin technology, the Litecoin cryptocurrency? We have the oldest bank in America, BNY Mellon. They announced that they're going to allow cryptocurrency. No, this is not from China. This is not created by the private Western Central Bank. This is a decentralized cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin. Now we hear from Visa, MasterCard, that they're going to accept cryptocurrency. Now think about what's happening here. This puts pressure on the fiat currency around the world. As this continually moves up in value, because now it's pegged to the dollar, just like gold and silver, people are going to question the fiat currency. And as more and more institutions accept Bitcoin for purchases, and once Visa and MasterCard have it implemented, you can use this with ease. It's already readily available. You don't have to use the dollar. Think about this for a second. This puts pressure on the private Western Central Bank fiat currency system. How do you destroy a system that is saturated in debt, where you're seeing inflation because the dollar is continually losing value? How do you make a move on the private Western Central Bank system worldwide? You introduce a currency that gains value, a currency that is built on a system that can't be manipulated. And what I mean by that, it's blockchain, where you just can't go in and say, you know something, we're going to change this, tweak that, change this. You can't do that. Now, the other thing you have to remember is that as of right now, just like with gold and silver, Bitcoin is pegged to the dollar. The dollar right now is the currency here in the United States. When you buy Bitcoin, yes, you can manipulate it up and down, just like the gold and silver market. Once Bitcoin replaces the dollar, which if we move in that direction, which it seems it is moving, Bitcoin will not see these up and downs anymore. People can adapt to this very, very quickly. Now, is this going to happen overnight? No. It might happen in 2, 3, 4 years. But what does this allow the people to do? It allows people to transfer their dollars in banks into Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin gains value, the dollar, let's say you take $10, you buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. And remember, you can buy fractions of Bitcoin, and it moves up. That enriches you. It doesn't make you poorer. Think about what is happening right now. If we were going to switch over to Bitcoin right now, and people decided, okay, I'm going to take my funds in my bank, and I'm going to take $100, and I'm going to buy a fraction of Bitcoin. And as more and more people do this, the value of Bitcoin goes up. It means that now your Bitcoin is worth a lot more than that $100 that was in the bank. Just the same as gold or silver. But you can use it electronically. What pressure does that put on Bitcoin? Because once people start to recognize this, and actually people are going to recognize this very, very quickly because of what MasterCard, Visa, and banks are doing, they're going to realize it's better to be in Bitcoin. If you can get your paycheck in Bitcoin, you can purchase groceries in Bitcoin, you can go out to the stores and buy anything with Bitcoin where it's not losing value, it's actually gaining value at this stage. People are more comfortable in making the switch, the transition. I do believe that this is the beginning stages of this. Now, am I saying take your entire account and move it into Bitcoin? No, I'm not saying that at all. My personal opinion, you take a little bit and you purchase Bitcoin. You take a little bit, you can buy gold, you can buy silver. I mean, this is the way you do it. You don't take your entire life savings and move it in there. And again, this is my personal opinion. This is what I've been doing. I take a little bit. I mean, right now, if you buy one coin of Bitcoin, it's like $47,000, $48,000. Yes, it fluctuates a little bit here and there. But remember, you can buy fractions of it. You don't have to buy the entire coin. But I do believe that this is the beginning stages of bringing pressure on the private Western Central Bank, not just here in the United States, but worldwide. And I believe Trump and the Patriots, they planned this a long time ago and how they were going to transition to people. People were always worried about how are we going to take our funds and how are we going to keep the value? Well, what happens, and we know that the dollar continually loses value as they print more around the world, which they've been doing, and it's out in circulation, the value of the dollar continually declines. If you take portions of this dollar and you put it into something that's appreciating and continually appreciating before the switchover, does that make you poor or does that maintain your wealth? And I go back to the story with gold and silver. It's the perfect example. Going back to the 30s when gold was $35 an ounce, you bury the $35, which is paper money, into the ground. You bury the 1 ounce of gold. You dig it up in 2021. Gold is worth $1,800. The paper currency is worth $35. That's it. The same thing with Bitcoin. The same thing's happening. Remember, they can't manipulate the structure of the blockchain. Yes, If somebody sells billions of Bitcoin, yes, the price will go down right now because it is not the currency of the country. But once it is the currency of the country, people are not going to sell it off. They're going to hold on to it. They're going to use it in everyday life. And I do believe that this is just the beginning. And it's to get people used to it and to make it attractive. So people say, you know something, I need to look into this. And as you see the price continually move up, it becomes more and more attractive. And people say, okay, let me take a portion, put it in there. Let me use it for purchasing. Let me try it out. Let me see how hard it is to use. And they say, okay, I understand this. Secondly, since you have wallets and it's kept on a ledger, it's not like you just have an account someplace and they can delete it or something because it's ledgered and copied all over the place on the blockchain. You really don't need a bank anymore. You keep everything in your wallet and you can access it anywhere, anytime, and you can send funds back and forth. You don't need the bank's permission. If you want it, you take it. So I do believe that this is the beginning of bringing down the entire private Western Central Bank system. And we're watching it happen in real time. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.